And we are back, folks, for another edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider with another one of the top athletes in the entire country. And I don't use that term loosely because when I say athlete, we're talking about a multi-sport star and a guy who could do it on offense. He could do it on defense. He could even do it on the track if you wanted him to. I am talking about Salesi Moa. And when you talk about one of the most coveted guys in the country, he is that, he is him, and he is with us. Salesi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great, man. Glad that you could join us and glad that you could take the time with us coming off of your first visit to the University of Michigan. So welcome and thank you for taking the time. And let's just start off first talking about your growth in the game. This is how we start out all of these interviews, just talking about your foundation in the sport, really in sports in general, because you come from an athletic family, man. It seems like you had no choice but to be great in athletics, right?
Yeah. So yeah, my brothers always pushed me to be great, and like my dad too. So I guess that's where I get my foundation from.
Yeah. So you're a guy. When I watch you, you're blessed physically, but you're also a guy who I can see. I mean, the grind is real. I mean, you get after it on the football field, but I'm trying to figure out the dog that I see. Where does that come from? The edge that you get on the field. Who did you get that from?
I think I got that from my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, having that dog in me.
Okay.
Just like always pushing and stuff.
Okay.
So I see my mom.
All right. So you get started in the game. When you get started in football, at what point did that love of the game really start? And then at what point did you start to really realize that point where you saw that I'm really kind of good at this? Because there's that moment where every guy kind of sees I'm better at this than the rest of these guys.
Yeah. So when I first started to love football, it was like, I don't know, ever since I was like 5 or 6. And then I knew I was gonna be great when I was like, as soon as I played my first Little League game, I had like 4 touchdowns or something. And yeah, I knew it was ups after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was there a point where you did you ever beat your brothers in anything?
Nah, I never beat my brothers in like sports. They always used to bully me and stuff. So I guess that's what built me to be great and stuff. Yeah.
You kept pushing to try to beat them.
Yeah. Always try to beat them like every time.
Yeah, kept you reaching for that. Okay. So, but you also excel in track. I mean, that obviously translates. So you step on the field, but you can do it on offense and you can do it on defense. I was wondering, was there a point where you said, hey man, I feel like I like defense more than I like offense? Was that something that kind of clicked for you?
Well, not really. It's just I feel different like on both sides of the ball. Like when I play offense, I feel different, but then when I play defense, I feel like hitting something. But yeah, it's like different on both sides of the ball, I guess.
Yeah, because when I watch you, I feel like, man, like he's a guy that I want roam in the middle of my defense because he's gonna make some people think twice.
Yeah.
Right? So I want that impact, but at the same time, you're a playmaker at receiver. So I imagine there are probably some coaches that are talking to you like, hey, you know what? I'll give you the option. I'll leave it up to you. Are coaches saying that to you, or are coaches saying you can play both ways?
Yeah, so some coaches, they're giving me like the option to like what I want to play, and some are just saying that like I could try to go both ways, like Travis Hunter, but it's just like really up to them. Like, but and then also they also some coaches give me like the option.
Is that something you want to do?
Yeah, something I want to try for sure.
Okay.
If it doesn't work out, then it's whatever.
Okay. So I did a lot of talking about what I see in you. I would rather hear that from you. This is something that I do with every guy. And it's not a vanity thing or a boasting or a bragging thing. It's like I want you to scout yourself. Pretend you're a coach or a scout in the stands and you're watching Salesi Moa on the field. Give me a scouting report. Break down your game.
say a good route runner, good ball skills, plays at a high level, and likes to play offense and defense. But yeah, good in his back pedal too. That's what I say.
Is there a player in college or the pros that you would compare yourself to or that you try to emulate?
Well, yeah, on offense I try to kind of play. Oh, on defense I try to play like Ed Reed,
Mm-hmm.
and then offense I try to play like Jeremiah Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I can see that.
yeah,
I can see that. Now, you definitely bring that kind of presence. See that, but here's the thing. So I'm talking to you, you're kind of a soft-spoken guy,
yeah,
right? Kind of a laid-back, reserved dude.
yeah,
But when you step on the field, something different comes out. It's like a switch.
yeah. That.
So where does, like, do you go in like a phone booth or something? Like, what happens?
Well, I just like listen to music, get in that mode for real, and then I'm ready after that.
Okay. All right, so you get in a different mindset.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are obviously at a point now where every school in the country wants you to come. I know you have your OVs, the places that you're going to want to go to, but I'm curious when it started. Like, when did it begin where schools started looking your way saying, hey, this is a guy? Do you remember that moment where you started hearing from colleges?
Yeah, so I got my first offer when I was in 8th grade, and I was in my house, and like my dad told me that I got offered from Utah by my uncle, so it was just a blessing after that. I was just like, I was so happy after that one.
Were you expecting it or was it a surprise?
It was a surprise for sure. Like, I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, it was crazy.
Because, obviously having brothers, your dad, having a family that they're college athletes, it's like, okay, you can kind of feel like I'm going to do it too. So did you expect that you were going to be a college athlete? So it was like, it was going to come?
Yeah.
Or was it still, like I said, it's a surprise still when it came though?
No, yeah, I always knew I was going to be like a college athlete, whatever sport I played, like basketball or football, but yeah,
Okay.
I always knew I was going to be a college athlete.
All right, so here's the other thing though. So dad's Utah, brothers at the time, BYU, was there a thing in you that made it feel like, being in state was kind of your destiny? Was that something that you grew up with, or was that not ever something that you felt like you were gonna have to do?
Yeah, it still kind of is. Like, I still think about playing in state, like for Utah, or like after seeing my dad playing for Utah, just thinking about like carrying on his legacy and seeing my brothers at BYU. Definitely, like when they were at BYU, I definitely wanted to go there. But yeah.
So was there ever the opposite thought that, hey, you know what, I want to blaze my own trail? Did that ever cross your mind?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I was gonna, blaze my own trail was like definitely a thought in my mind for my college career. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So now the blow up happened. Let's move past. You get your first offer. You're blowing up on the field, right? When do the floodgates open? When do like a bunch of scholarship offers start to happen? At what point is that?
Kind of like after my sophomore year at Weaver High, just like a lot of coaches started to reach out, and a lot of coaches started to come see me at Fremont. So it was just a blessing to have all those coaches come see me and have them all like believe in me.
Okay. All right. So you get to the point where you start to narrow your focus and focus on a few schools. How do you do that? Like, what were the factors that made you sort of say, these are the ones that I want to look at the hardest?
The factors, that would be family and the culture, and if they could develop me as a player. So yeah.
Yeah. I always wonder, how do guys assess development? Like, do you go and look at a guy working with players in practice and look at technique, or are you looking at how many guys they put in the pros. Like, how do you assess? What's your criteria for development?
Yeah, like, so how many guys like the coaches put into like the pros, or how the coach's philosophy is, like, is it like matching what I want to be and like how I want to be coached? So yeah, that's how I look at it.
So when you talk about style of coaching, are you a guy who likes for a coach to really get after you, like really ride you hard, or are you more of a guy who needs a coach who is like patting you on the back a lot? Like what style of coaching works for you?
I've always been coached hard like my whole life by my dad, so being coached hard is like nothing really. It's just like being coached to me. So that's just how it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
I hear you. All right. So getting into the Michigan part of it, when did Michigan enter the equation for you recruiting wise? And take me through when you got the offer. Like, when did that come through?
I got the Michigan offer in January when Coach Stokes came and see me, and yeah, it was just a blessing. I was so happy. It was a dream offer for sure.
So had you heard from them before the offer came, or was the offer like the first time you had really heard from them?
Well, nah. So like the recruiter analyst and some of the coaches were like texting me, just like minor stuff, like not too much. And then yeah, when Coach Stokes came and see me, he just gave me the offer.
So you said it was a dream offer. It was a school you had watched along the way?
For sure. It was a dream offer, like them. And yeah, I want to get Georgia too, but yeah.
All right. So a team that you watch, what is it about Michigan what was it about them that had you sort of watching them along the way, like that made it a dream offer?
Just always seeing them on TV, like dominating, and they're always like a winning team. So, like, I want to win a national championship. So it was good to have an offer from them.
All right.
Yeah.
So now that you've been here and you've gotten the chance to connect with Coach Morgan, Coach Lamar Morgan, let's start with him, the guy that would presumably be your position coach. That's if you played, defensive back as opposed to receiver, right? What have been your impressions of Coach Morgan? What do you think of him?
I really like Coach Morgan, very transparent, honest guy. He's like loving and he coaches hard, so that's why I like him to coach, and he's honest.
So how did he say, because one of the things that I've noted about him, like if you watched his defense last year, he had a guy who played safety, and then he played him at nickel, and then he played him at corner. Like that guy, he was all over the field. Yeah. And so I'm curious, with a guy like you, it feels like he could do that with you. Did he talk about where he would put you on the defense?
So he said like he'll probably put me at nickel. So he said like that's the best athlete on the field. So he said that I could play nickel for them or safety, because they run with 3 safeties. But yeah, he said one of those 3 I'll play. Yeah.
So now, as far as their scheme is concerned, when talking to Coach Martindale, did you get a chance to really interact with him, and what are your thoughts on Coach Martindale?
I like Coach. He's cool. Yeah, for sure. He's also like honest too. So yeah, I like the whole staff.
Yeah, that NFL scheme. A lot of guys look for that NFL influence coming down, being able to be that super versatile kind of chess piece kind of thing. Is that something that you assess, kind of the NFL influence in the college defenses? Are you looking at that in the different schools that you look at?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm pretty sure Michigan runs like NFL defense, so it'll get me prepared for the NFL for sure. So I like that.
And then Coach Moore. I mean, it all starts with the head coach. So I'm curious your connection, your impressions of Coach Moore. What are your thoughts on him now that you met face to face?
He's a good guy, faithful guy. Like he values God and values his team and his family. So I like Coach Moore a lot. for sure.
All right. So you have gotten a good dose of Michigan. So let's see. You've been here for a few days. If you look back on it, what stuck out to you the most your few days here on campus?
Just the facilities, like it was crazy, and seeing the field, the stadium, it was just wild. That's the biggest stadium I've ever seen in my life.
So practice. Did anything stick out to you in practice when you watched them?
Yeah, they're just efficient and always like have urgency wherever they're going. So that's what I liked about the practice.
I'm also here. You're one of the top recruits in the country. You know, big time guy. I know it was a class ahead of you, but I'm curious if when you see a dude like Bryce Underwood, he was committed to LSU, flip to Michigan. When you saw that, were you surprised by that? And does that, when you see #1 player in the country flip to Michigan, does that impact you anyway? Does that increase the appeal in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I was definitely like, dang, so Michigan must have something good going over here. So I was definitely like, oh yeah, there must be something good about Michigan that Bryce Underwood committed there. So yeah, for sure.
Especially as a possible receiver. So did they talk to you about the possibility of playing both ways?
Not really, but we really was just talking about safety and stuff.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but is that something, if you were to pick them, is that something that you would bring up?
Yeah, probably. I'll bring up if I could play both ways.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's draw back away from Michigan. So let's see and talk big picture. When you get ready to make a decision and pick a school, what are going to be the most significant factors in that decision?
Just if my family and if I could trust the coaches and the team, and then development, and then education. Like if I could get a good education from there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Now we got mom and dad here, right? And I'm always curious if the things that you are looking for and stressing on the visits are the same things that they're saying. Like, what are they stressing the most? What are they saying when you go on visits? Son, I want you to make sure you look for this. Or is it the same things that you're saying right now?
Yeah, so it's basically the same thing. Like my parents look for just like honesty and a family environment and the culture, and then yeah.
What about distance?
That's not really a problem. Like because my parents already seen it with my older brother, so it's not really a problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how big of a lure, and how big of an allure is the possibility of playing with your brother? I mean, there would be a chance, right?
Yeah.
You play with your brother at Michigan State. How big would that be?
It would be big for me. Like I'd love to play with my older brother. I never have, but yeah, it would be crazy. I'd like to.
Is that like a big part of your decision?
Not really, nah, but yeah, maybe actually. So I think I'll have like Michigan State in my top 5 to see if I want to go there with my brother and play with him. So yeah.
So you're gonna weigh that into the grand scheme of things. I got you. All right. So timeline for making a decision as we wind down here. When do you think you're gonna wind up sort of figuring out what you want to do?
I just when like I'm just gonna do it when a school feels right for me. Like when I feel like the love, and I don't know, when I just feel it, that's when it's gonna be time for me.
Mm-hmm. So if I got the factors right, you said you want to win a national championship. You want to feel like family. You got player development. These are all big factors. Possibility of playing with your brother.
Yeah.
And then when it feels right, all of these things are gonna weigh into the final analysis as far as your decision are concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
I got you. All right, so one of the things we do when we close things out, we give you the opportunity to talk about the people who helped you, because this whole thing has been about you. Now it's your opportunity to talk about the people who helped you along the way, right? Because you couldn't do it none of you guys do this by yourselves, right? You don't travel the country by yourself. You don't grow in the game by yourself. Someone pushed you, someone held you accountable, picked you up when you were down. That's your circle, your family, right? So what about that, right? Because this whole thing is your circle going along with you. So it's your time to shout them out.
All right, yeah, my mom, my dad, my coach Nate, Uncle Nate, my old coach Hammer from Weber, yeah, he helped me a lot. My uncle Nate and my brothers, my teammates, yeah. My old teammates too from Weber, they helped me too, so yeah, I'm grateful to them, and my uncles, my cousins, everyone played a big part in like helping me.
Yeah, a whole lot of people holding you down, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we were to come out to see you play, give us a few games to circle on the schedule to pick from to come out and see you do your thing.
I'll definitely say the first couple games, like Weber High, Corner Canyon. I'm not really sure. That's like the only two teams on the schedule I know right now, but
Okay.
yeah.
All right, and we got your official visit list already. Are those the only OVs you're going to take, or is there potential to add any more?
I might add like 2 more.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and last one to close things out. Final Michigan question. What would you say is the thing you like the most about Michigan right now, and what is the biggest question you still have about Michigan?
The most thing I like about Michigan right now is probably be just like the standard they have for their team and for everyone, like just like as little as like putting like the M's up on the weight room. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like I like the standard over there. And the biggest question I would have was just to be like, if they would like two-way players, mm-hmm. just like if they would like me to play offense as well. Mm-hmm. That's what my biggest question would be.
Salesi Moa, man, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Sir, thank you.
And that'll do it for this edition of the Michigan Recruiting Insider.